All right, guys, here we are again. Lunch with Gigi at TennisCon. So awesome. So nice of you to agree to do this, by the way. I really appreciate it.
I'm excited. I
Good.
want to get people to come to TennisCon live. So I think we want more people to do that because it was such a great event. I mean, I really did enjoy all the
Yeah.
other instructors, and it was such a great learning opportunity for everybody.
Yeah, guys, if you don't know, we're talking about TennisCon Live is an event where we basically bring TennisCon off the internet and onto the court with your favorite instructors. And we train for 4 days. So again, as you're going through each day's content, you'll notice the banners there. I'm also putting some banners in some of the emails. So go check it out and apply, and we'll get on the phone and hopefully you'll come. Today we're going to talk about mental toughness secrets. So I want to ask you first, what does mental toughness mean to you? Like, if you were to define what mental toughness is, what would you say it is?
I think it's the ability to give 100% on each and every point, regardless of the score.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Plain and simple. I mean, it's not really about winning or hitting the best shots on break points, and I mean, not everybody can do that, right? But I think pretty much everybody can go out and give 100% on every single shot that they play, and really try their darndest to silence what's going on in their head, so
That's
they
a
can
really,
play a
yeah,
point of tennis.
that's a really good definition. As we have people come in, say where you're from. Also, what is your definition of mental toughness? I like that the ability to play your 100% no matter what the score is, and that's easier said than done, because I think especially one of the things with junior camps and even adult camps, people play, maybe they're playing 20-minute rotations, something like that. They get down a couple of games and they figure, well, I can't come back. So they just give up. They're like, I want to do the next round.
Oh,
So,
you can always come back.
but they think they can't. You can just literally see them like tank the rest of the round and like, I can't wait to go to the
Right.
next court.
So that's
And
being not mentally tough,
that's
right?
be that's the opposite of being mentally
Right.
tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was an epic comeback this week in the WTA Tour doubles match, and it reminded me of an epic comeback Natasha and I had. We were playing in the Virginia Slims Championships, which were in Madison Square Garden, and I don't remember the year. It was probably 94, 93, one of these years when we were number one in the world, supposed to win. And we were playing Patty Fendick and Meredith McGrath, and we were down 6-2, 5-1, and it was 11:58 at night. And I
Wow.
remember looking at the clock going, oh, I mean, I could be in my bed in like 15 minutes. But, you never quit, right? So
Yeah.
I think we broke them. I believe we broke them to get 5-2. And then we broke them again to get to 5-4. And we were down, we got the tiebreaker. We were down 6-2 in the tiebreaker. They had
Uh-huh.
4 consecutive set points, or match points rather. And we won that tiebreaker, and then we won the third set 6-1. So it's
Man.
there's so many examples. Mary Jo Fernandez at the French Open, I think she was down like a set in 5-0, came back and won. Yana Novotna winning Wimbledon 4-1 in the third serving, lost.
Yeah.
So it's just never done. And that's the thing. When you say it's easier said than done, this is really not that hard
Mm-hmm.
in comparison to executing tennis shots, right? In comparison to I have to hit this 100-mile-an-hour return, this return of 100-mile-an-hour serve back on the court, right? That's way harder than it is to just go out and try to win the next point and give 100% in that point.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I mean, it should be on the face of it easier.
On the face, it's easier, but in reality, I mean, I think coaching so much, and I would actually say adults are probably better at this than juniors, but I mean, coaching so many people, it seems like half the lesson is like getting people to try their best, because they get discouraged and then they get psyched out, and you can just literally see the energy leaving their body. And yeah. So what do you think about this? This is a pretty good
What's
comment.
your definition? I want to hear your definition.
Oh, I'm 100% with you. I think it's that ability of just trying from beginning to end, whether you lose and not looking at the scoreboard. I mean, the score, but it's that ability to fight the whole time. And I think also being able to tap into being mentally tough is also, I think, being able to tap in what you can and cannot do in certain moments, and having those realistic conversations with yourself on pressure points. I
Right.
think you have to pay attention to the feelings in your body. Of course, every single point, our dream would be, oh, I want to end the point on an amazing winner. But I think you also have to pick your battles with that. And I don't think enough people do. And I think if they don't go for a shot at a certain time, they think that they're weak. And I don't think that they are. I just think you got to play smart. Sometimes smart is by hitting a shot that no one saw coming. And sometimes playing smart is by hitting a shot that, is very the sound and strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. And, and I didn't really, when you said that about everybody wants to hit the great shot on the big point, I never thought that way. I didn't really care how I won the point, as long as I won the point. It could be an ace, or it could be they just shanked the return in the bottom of the net. I was just as happy, regardless.
Well, there's also that happy medium too, though, right? Because you can go the other way and go, well, I don't care how I win the point. I just want to win, and I don't want to lose. So any way I can get it, I'll take it. You got to have that, happy balance of like, I can play smart tennis, but I can also go win it too. Like, look at what Novak Djokovic did against Roger Federer down match point. I mean, he hit a shot that was so dumb when you think about it. He hit it like 200 miles an hour past Roger Federer after he served. But I think that shot literally changed his whole career. He came back and won that match, and he developed the confidence.
This is Wimbledon? At Wimbledon?
Well, he did that at Wimbledon too, but the first time he did it was he was the third wheel, right? It was Nadal and Federer. Federer had 2 match points up 5-3 at the US Open. And Djokovic, everybody's kind of cheering against Djokovic. And Djokovic kind of did that like, okay. Yeah. And then Federer hit it, boom. And Federer, even after the match, goes, really, a guy hitting a shot like that is not even trying. Like, Federer was pissed that he tried that. You can find the press conference. It's pretty interesting. What do you think about this? Being physically tough and makes you more mentally tough.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you can, when you feel like your body's not going to give out on you, like you can go out and you can grind and you can just keep hitting balls, and it definitely helps you. You don't feel like you have to end the points too soon. and also practicing, like whenever, I think I played my best tennis when I felt really good about how I was hitting the ball, how I had been practicing, how, my coach called it a fine-tuned engine, right? So whenever I would come off the court for a match, something always needed to get tweaked, whether it was a carburetor or I don't know all the engine parts, but he used to like pick my game apart. It's like, okay, we got to go work on this one little thing that wasn't really, firing properly. So you just kind of fine tune everything so that when you go play your match, everything feels pretty good. And same thing that was just said, being physically fit and having your game physically ready definitely helps you mentally.
Yeah, I agree. I thought when I was in my best shape, I felt the most confident going on the court. I kind of knew that I deserved to be there that day. So one thing here is from Briscar won his Play Your Court. He's won now 2 Play Your Court leagues with Scott and Nate. He's playing in those, and he's won 2 of them. And so his question is the ability to execute your plan and not gifting the match to your opponent in spite of the scoreboard pressure. So I guess he's maybe asking, how do you do that? Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I think that's what he's defining mental toughness at, which is kind of.
Oh, okay. That's his definition.
It's kind of like what I said, right? I said ability to give 100% regardless of the score. So really the ability to ignore the score is, it's like you almost want amnesia when you're playing tennis, like you want to forget quickly what happened in the past, especially when it's bad. And just be really present oriented. Like, again, just win the next point. Win the next point. That's all you can do is win the next point.
So here's a couple things, guys. You guys are giving some great definitions of what mental toughness is, but I want you to also comment so we can maybe help you on where do you think you struggle mentally? Everybody struggles mentally. My struggle would be that would freak me out. And I think I talked about this with Jeff Greenwald in our session. I kind of had a therapy session. Has this ever happened to you where the ball comes, you don't feel nervous? You see the ball clearly and cleanly. You don't feel like before you're going to hit it, you're going to miss it. And all of a sudden, as you hit it, for some unexplained reason, it's like you barely graze the ball. You have like no power on it. The ball kind of dies into the net. And you're just like, what? Like, I just totally gacked that, and I didn't think it was going to happen. And that would freak me out sometimes. Have you ever experienced that?
So like you just choke on a shot? Was it a choke?
It was totally a choke, but it didn't feel like it was about to be a choke. That's what really freaked me out. I felt like, okay, here's the ball. I feel good, and I'm feeling confident before I hit it. And then all of a sudden I go to hit it, and I barely touch the ball. The ball would have like no pace. It would kind of dive bomb into the net. And I'd be like, what the hell just happened there? Like, and then I knew that everybody was probably watching going, oh my God, he totally choked.
Okay, that's why you didn't win 17 Grand Slam speed.
Exactly. Exactly. So
No, I have to say, I mean, I'm sure I choked many times in my career. I can't even, I'm sure. I mean, especially early on, everybody chokes. And it's okay. It's okay to have that happen. The question is what happened after that point? And what you're saying is it freaked you out and then you kind of spiraled. And what I'm saying is that happened to me, but I just smile, let it go, and move on to the next point.
Yeah.
That's what mental toughness is the ability to have amnesia. Like I forget about that one. That one didn't happen. It was an alien. I had a coach who used to call it alien shots. The alien took a hold of you. Someone else hit that shot, not you. And
I like that.
So then you take the responsibility off yourself and put it off on the alien that took your body over for like 15 seconds.
That's good. I'm going to remember that if I ever play another match here soon. Yeah. But biggest struggle when my play is not to my regular standard and I can't seem to get past getting down on myself and pulling myself back to start playing better.
That's a good one. Okay, yeah. So with this, what I say to this is, when you start playing a tennis match, you're never 100%. It's very rare that you start playing a match and you feel great. You have your warm up, you start kind of get the kinks out in your warm up. But there's a point in a match, and this happens to pretty much everybody that plays tennis, if you are patient, right? There's a point in a match where you relax, and you feel like, okay, I'm here. Gigi is now on the tennis court. Sometimes it takes the warm up. Sometimes it takes a game. Sometimes it takes the first set. Sometimes it takes till 6-all in the tiebreaker in the third. Who knows? Like sometimes, for the most part, I mean, I did say that eventually you get there, but I mean, if you're playing a humongous match, like I played entire matches where I was tight, like finals of Wimbledon. But the difference was, okay, so what you're doing, and I'll address that in a second, but what you're doing when you're playing is you're trying to find that person. You're trying to find you within you. And the things that you could do to get to that, move your feet, accelerate more. Like generally speaking, people, when they get tight, everything slows down and you're going slow motion. So try to do everything quadruple time. And again, now if you're the type of person that paralyzes when you're faced with a stressful situation, some people are the opposite. Some people actually overplay and overhit and overdo it. Then these kind of people have to like calm down, take it easy, play one point at a time. Try not to get ahead of yourself, but it's not telling yourself when you're starting to play bad, oh, I'm having a bad day. This is one of those bad days, because then congratulations, you succeeded. Like if you're telling yourself you're having a bad day and you're having a bad day, well, you succeeded. Now, if you just keep telling yourself, keep working through this and I'm going to start playing better at some point, then you will start playing better at some point. So, to who was it that posted that? I just say,
that was Teresa.
Teresa. Yeah. So Teresa, I just say, just be patient. We know that it doesn't, it could be 6-2-5-1 when you start feeling better. Sometimes that happens to people, like they feel like, okay, I'm going to lose. So they finally relax, they start swinging, and then they produce a comeback. But it goes back to, not quitting and not giving up on yourself too soon.
Gordon Tanner is in the house, and he says,
From
"How does?"
England.
I know, I love him. He's so great. How does
Yes.
one ride the wave of good feeling, confidence the longest? I guess how can you keep the good feeling going is the question. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think just not really acknowledge it. Just like if I was having, I mean, I just felt like if whenever I was like in a zone, I just assumed that that was normal. You know,
Hmm.
of course I'm gonna play great. Of course I'm gonna be feeling good. Of course I'm gonna win all these matches and just kind of like that's your Gordon. That's your normal game. Just keep riding it.
Yeah,
Don't think that it's just unique or special. It's just how you're playing now and keep going.
yeah, yeah,
That's the easy part. The hard part is when you lose the confidence, how do you get it?
yeah.
Right? So don't talk yourself out of being confident when you have it. Um, just keep writing it.
Now, there's one thing that you said the other day, and then we talked about footwork, and then I thought about the difference between juniors and adults. Is you said that a lot of this stuff, and even mental stuff, you have to work on off the court. You just can't, go there on the court and sometimes, I mean, it's, of course you can tell yourself this and that, and it'll help. But if you're not practicing off the court,
Yeah.
I think it's tougher to do. And one of the things is footwork. Most adults, even if they're in great shape, I mean, I've had so many adults on my court. I'm like, man, they are fit. They're like 60 years old. They're fit. They are strong. But then I'm like, are you ready to play? And they're just like, yes, I'm ready. And their feet are just like locked on the ground. And I
Cement.
teach them they gotta kind of bounce around, kind of like Rafa. And I say, look, if you're nervous on the court and you're playing like this, then you look super nervous. But if you're nervous on the court and you're dancing around and you're moving like kind of like you see a junior do, your
Right.
opponent doesn't think you're as nervous. You don't feel as nervous because you have this flow about your body. And I think you've got to, if you do want to have good footwork on the court, it's one of the things that adults don't do much off the court. Like every day, just do a little 5 minute, just pretend you're playing tennis in your apartment or your house or your gym. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And moving is so important because it's easier to move a moving object than an object at rest. Newton's theory of motion, right? So the reason why we split because when you're splitting, you're already in movement, so it's easier to react to the ball. So same thing what you're saying. If you're standing ready to return and your feet are flat and the serve comes, good luck reacting. If watch the pros, like when the serve is coming, their feet are like in constant motion. So and then they split and react one way or the other. And that's for that reason that if you're already moving, it's easier to move than it is to start moving. And if that doesn't make sense to anybody, think of pushing a car. Like when you start to push a car, it's so difficult, right? Because it's so heavy. But once you get it going, then momentum makes it go easier. So yeah, definitely move your feet.
So maybe could you give us 2 or 3 tips, mental and physical tips you did off the court that you felt made you mentally stronger on the court? Then maybe we could go through some things that you did on the court that made you mentally stronger.
Okay, so things that I would do off the court first. I did a lot of visualization. And excuse me 1 second, I got a call.
Look at that. That was polite. She put it on mute.
Ah.
That was clutch. See, that's clutch. That's why she won 17 Grand Slam titles.
Oh, sorry, I feel much better today, though. Thank God. So visualization was key because when you visualize yourself doing something, your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and perception, right? So, and there's lots of proof about this. So when I surfed for the match at Wimbledon like 10,000 times in my head before I actually did it. So when I went to surf for the match at Wimbledon, I had done it so many times it was not new. And I mean, I'm sure I was nervous, but I wasn't as nervous as I was if I'd never done it. So visualization, breathing, like getting your body to relax. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but if you lay flat on the floor on a yoga mat or something, and then start with the bottom of your body, and then what you want to do, it should take about 15 or 20 minutes. You tighten your foot for like 3 or 4 seconds, and then you relax it. Then you tighten your calves, relax it. Tighten your thighs, relax it. Your abdomen, relax it. Your chest, relax it. Your arms, relax it. Your neck, relax it. Your face, like really scrunch it, like, and then relax it. And then you do this up and down your body And you're gonna feel more relaxed. It's a fact that if you do this, you're gonna start feeling more relaxed. So when your body gets used to this, being tight, being relaxed, being tight, being relaxed, when you're playing in a match, if you're feeling tight, then you can just tighten your arm. Like sometimes you see players do this, they're like tighten it, and then they're like kind of shaking it. Um, you'll relax your arm because what you want when you're playing tennis is to be relaxed, right? Because then your shots flow and you can hit your normal shots. When you get tight, like your arm doesn't go, and so that's another thing that you could do. So and then breathing, like deep breathing, like from the diaphragm. Like when we breathe right now, we're using a third of our lungs. Just kind of shallow breathing. You want to breathe so like through your nose, so you get it down into your diaphragm, and then
Wow.
breathe out. Long breaths. Like I could do 2 breaths in 1 minute, like in 15 seconds, hold out 15 seconds. Um, it right now, I mean, it's hard to do, but and when you start doing this, you'll probably get like 3 seconds. Like most people do shallow, they like, and that's all they can do. Not like this.
Mm. Very nice.
That relaxes your body, right? So then on the changeovers, if I was having, going to serve out for a match or tight for whatever reason, I would do this on the changeovers. I would also do the visualization where so this is stuff that I did off the court now, stuff that I would do on the court, changeovers, breathing, but also I used to have this place in my head that was my happy place. And for me, it was riding back on my dad's boat. And then in Puerto Rico, we used to have a boat and we used to come back Sunday afternoons after a long weekend, and the sun would be setting over the horizon, and I'm sitting on the front of the boat. So dangerous on the front of the boat, going like 40 miles an hour. Back in the day when that people didn't have any clue what was dangerous or not. But there I was, and this is my happy place. I can close my eyes and pretend I'm there, and I feel so great, So I would do that. I would do that in matches. I would do it before changeovers, or I would do it before returns. I would close my eyes, and I was.
Oh, we lost Gigi. I'm sure she'll be back. I'm just putting more comments there. We lost you there for a second, Gigi.
Yeah, so I was just saying, like, I would close my eyes before returns or just pretend I was there, and that would relax me. So again, anything you could do to relax. I talked yesterday. I think I talked yesterday about reversing the score. If you're struggling on a certain shot, like break points, you're struggling to make those returns, reverse the score. Sometimes faking it, fake. I like to tell the story, fake it till you make it. Sometimes you're just not feeling good and you just got to fake it. And I have the ultimate great story about this. Do we have time for a story?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So this is 1980. A lot of people have heard this story, so I apologize if you already have, but it was 1988. I've been playing for 4 years and I was going to quit. I was not successful. I was homesick. I'd gained weight. I've been playing for 4 years. And I was just had it. I was miserable, not making enough money. It was like, it wasn't working. I was really going to retire, go be a doctor, was my other calling. My dad was a doctor. My grandmother was a doctor.
Wow.
My uncles were doctors. So
that probably would have been, well, except for it turned out for you, but that probably been smarter for most people to go do that than to try and become a pro tennis player.
Yeah, right?
But anyway, let's go back to
back to the story. So before I quit, my agent says, okay, why don't you go meet Dr. Jim Lair? I'm like, all right, whatever. So I spent a couple of weeks with him in the summer. And the first thing he taught me what to do with the time between points, which is the crave sequence that I shared 2 nights ago. So what to do was 25 seconds between points was important. But the other thing he did, which was brilliant on his part, he said, okay, Gigi, can you act? And I'm like, well, I don't know if I can act, but my great uncle is Jose Ferrer, who won an Academy Award. So maybe I had the acting gene. And he says, well, I want you to act like you're having fun. I know you hate tennis and I know you're going to quit at the end of this tournament, and that's fine. But why don't you just pretend and try to fool everybody in the crowd, and just you and I are going to have this little secret that you hate it, but you're going to pretend like you're having fun. I said, fine. So I go out and I play the first match and I won. We won 6-4 in the third. It was doubles. 6-4 in the third. I come off the court and he says, "Did you have any fun?" I'm like, "Oh, no. Tennis is stressful after 4-all in the third." It's like, "Okay, we'll do it on the next match." So I did on the next match and won that. Did on the next match and won that. Did in the next match and won that. Now we're in the semifinals of the US Open. And we're playing the best team in the history of tennis, male or female. Do you know who that is?
Of course, Martina and Pam.
Yeah. So we're playing Martina and Pam. They had just finished a 108 match win streak. They won 108 matches in a row. I mean, think about that for a minute. That's like 3 years without losing. So we really had no chance, but I made it to the semifinals of the US Open. I was pretty happy about that. So we get on the court and he's like, "You're still faking it, right?" I mean, I'm still pretending like I'm having fun. So guess what? We beat them. We beat Martina and Pam in old grandstand, 6-3 in the third. And we come off the court and he goes, "Are you having fun now?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm having fun in the finals of the US Open." And then I won the US Open. We won the next match, won the US Open, pretending like I was having fun. And that changed my life because at that point I thought, wow, if I could trick my brain into thinking that I'm having fun and produce this kind of tennis, then I might have a shot. So
You know, it's so good. That's a great story. It's so good we went through this too today because yesterday I said, "Did you ever play Martina at the U.S. Open in doubles?" She said, "I don't think so." And I said, "Well, I was watching a video, and that was the video I was watching.
Yeah.
You were on grandstand, yeah,
You're right. Oh
and
my
that's
God.
right.
I thought it was in singles.
No, and you used the lob very well in that match, and that was a great match. Guys, look, that is on YouTube, by the way. I don't know if you know that match is on YouTube.
Yeah,
Gigi, do you know?
it's a good match.
Great points. Great points.
That was all traditional serve and volley, chip and charge. It was good. Good old.
Now, why were
doubles.
Pam and Martina so good? You know, we know Martina obviously one of the best players ever, right? But Pam not necessarily one of the best players ever. Why was Pam? And she wasn't very flashy either. What made her such a great?
She was very solid. Like she was like spot on solid. Like big first serve. I mean, let's face it. Pam was number 3 in the world at the time, right? So he had the number 1 singles player in the world and the number 3 singles player in the world playing doubles. So they're gonna dominate. No one got even close, right? They were both great volleyers, great reflexes. They both had really good serves. And at that time, if you recall, it's like Martina and anybody was the best team in the world. Like there was a period there where John McEnroe and anybody was the best team in the world. So she was so dominant. And but Pam definitely held her own, and was a big part of that. I don't think she gets enough credit for that. I think a lot of people just think it was all Martina, but definitely Pam deserves a lot of credit because it's a lot of pressure playing with Martina and to keep it going for that long is a real true testament of what a great player that she also was.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I remember we interviewed Pam one time and she said for the pandemic, she was trying to learn topspin, which I thought was very unique, that she won all those matches, but she chipped everything, right?
Slice forehand, slice backhand, but that still worked.
Absolutely.
Like, she was right at the transition. She was in the 70s, 76, I think, when she played the finals of the US Open. Like Borg came along in 80, and after Borg 81, after Borg or 79, like after Borg, it was all topspin. He was the first player to really do topspin on both sides. And from then on, Chris Evert still had flat shots, Tracy Austin flat. But after Borg, the topspin game came.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Well, let's see what we have here. We have lots of people just going, don't double down and fake it till you make it. There's no substitute for perfect practice. Practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Yeah. So lots of good comments. Agree or disagree? What is this? Mental toughness goes beyond your hardest.
Trying your hardest, to score.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much what you said.
Yeah, I agree. Gotta be nimble.
We totally agree with you. Well, I think that this was do you have anything else to add to Mental Toughness Day, or what do you think about this lunch?
Yeah, I mean, I think the key to being successful in sports is to enjoy yourself. You have to have fun. You have to smile. You have to have a good time. You can't it's a sport, people. We're playing for fun, especially all of you watching. You're not doing this for a living, right? I mean, if the pros can go out and enjoy and have fun and smile, we're just doing this for fun. You're hitting a little ball back and forth. It's not brain surgery, or we're not in a war zone. We're not in Israel or
Yeah.
Ukraine. It's
Yeah.
so
Well, that's an
have fun.
interesting concept, because as you say it, tennis is fun and it is a game, right? But you obviously took that game very seriously,
Right.
and you took wins and losses, I'm sure. Got very excited when you won and probably pretty down when you lost. And I got a email the other day from some lady who said she just started getting into tennis when the pandemic happened, and she loves tennis now, and she loves watching all the videos, and she says tennis is now my job, right? So she views it, well, no, but here's the thing. I think that it's a good thing, because it
it's
tennis
not a job.
for many of us, though, it gives us purpose. Like it was your
I get
job.
that. It's your hobby, right? I mean, like pickleball is my hobby,
Right.
but it's not my job, and it's never good. It's not a job. Try not to look. I mean, that's what I would say. Don't look at it as a job. Look at it as, um, I don't know. The job to me has
But
a
I think
negative
what she more
connotation.
meant is it's my purpose, and I don't think that that's a bad
fair.
thing.
Yeah, no, that's great. Absolutely. I mean, something gets you out there, gets you motivated, gets you, out exercising. It's gonna extend your life. It's great. It's a great sport you can play for the rest of your life. But don't take it so seriously, because it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you lose a match or you miss the return. It really doesn't matter, right?
It
The end
doesn't,
of the end.
but it's hard, because then you play in the league matches, and some people are like, oh my god, I don't want to play with Sarah or Mike, because they because all these people kind of start piling that pressure on you when you get on these
Yeah,
teams and
I
stuff.
get it. But
I
you have
mean,
to. I mean, and I know, of course, it matters. All I'm saying is, you have to try to pretend like it doesn't matter, because then you'll play better. Of course, it matters, and of course, it's your job. But you can't tell yourself that. You have to
absolutely.
take the pressure off, and you take the pressure off by saying it doesn't matter. It's just another match. It's, um, and at some point you have this aha moment, and I had my aha moment at my first Wimbledon final. I was playing my first Wimbledon final. We were getting killed. We're down 4-1, 30-15. They were serving 2 breaks. It rained, and I come off the court, and my coach is like, "What the heck?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm just sucking. He goes, "Gigi, you need to detach from the outcome." And I'm like, "What do you mean? What does that even mean?" It's like, you just got to stop caring. Like, don't care. Like, you're a great player. Just go out, have fun, do what you can do. Just, have a ball. Go out and have a ball, and don't care if you win or lose. Play every point like it's the last point, but it doesn't matter if you win or lose. And I did. We lost one more game. We won 6-4, 6-1. And from that point on, it was like the light bulb went off, and I never looked back. I always detached from the outcome. My whole entire career, I detached from the outcome now with my kids. Like, you have to detach from the outcome in life to be successful. You can't be so caught up with the end result that you can't live your daily life. So detach from the outcome. That's my motto.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of something Michael Jordan said. Did you see that great commercial he had way back in the day when he talks about how many game-winning shots he's
He
missed and how
missed,
many games
yeah.
and all this stuff? He's like, I failed over and over again. That's why I succeed. And then
Yeah.
and I remember Phil Jackson said, Michael Jordan, what makes him so powerful is he's a peaceful warrior. Like, he's obviously very competitive,
Right.
but he can accept not winning, even though no one was more competitive than him. So it's that interesting combination of being like incredibly competitive, but still willing to take the last shot. And if you miss it, you're like, oh,
You missed it. I missed
life
it.
goes on.
Took my shot. Yeah.
That's the key, I think, guys.
I think we'll leave it at that.
I think we'll leave it at that. So this is a great live stream. Remember, guys, if you want to get lifetime access, we're not going to be putting a ton of links in today, guys. I think you have the link by now.
Got the links.
You can upgrade to lifetime, and you're going to be entered into a raffle to attend TennisCon live with us. So one of you might be able to come for free. If you buy off Gigi's link, tell them what they can do if they buy off your link.
You also enter the raffle to come to a free camp either in Washington or Cincinnati. I'm adding Gigi Method camps in Washington and Cincinnati. 3 hours of tennis in the morning, and then we go watch the matches 3 days in a row. So that should be super fun. During the City Open and during the Western and Southern Open.
Yeah.
So one free spot for someone. And
Yeah,
if you're
and
interested in that, even if you don't get the free spot, you can go to my website, which is right there, gfinance.com,
yeah,
under the camp section, and fill in an application for the camp. I'm taking applications right now.
yeah. Do you see what she's? I
Yeah.
just want to make sure they see what you're talking about. You guys see what she's talking about on her under her name. She's got her website, so you guys can take a screenshot of that. Go to gigifernandez.com, and if you go to Cincinnati, maybe Gigi, you might get a 2-for-1 deal because maybe Gigi, we can hang out and maybe have a, go to the matches or something together.
Yeah, let's do something.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Sure.
So it's a great tournament. All right, guys, you guys have a great day. I'm gonna be back tonight with Jorge Capistani at 8:00. And then we're also doing a members only. So if you're a member, we're also doing a members only live stream at 9:00. So 8:00, 9:00 with Jorge back to back. Tomorrow with Gigi. Yeah.
I just noticed you have the Gigi Method shirt.
Yeah, you didn't see that.
Yeah, I just noticed it. I'm so not observant. The other side. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye.